Buddy and Me is brought to you by Truck Vault.
Old or young, you can teach a dog new tricks. You just got to break it down into a series of small steps. Buddy's taught me, and hopefully I'm teaching him, that if you break those skills down into one skill, then move on to the next skill after that first skill is mastered, you should be able to teach them just about anything. All right. For instance, whoa requires comprehension and mastery of the basic command, then mastery through distractions to rock steadiness. Here, whoa is easy on the bench. Somewhere else, maybe not. Add another dog or gunshot, and it's back to basics, maybe on the table again. The sight or smell of bird, and more conditioning is required. Taking the lead off or adding hand signals are other steps at each level. Buddy learns gradually, in pieces. So do I. Once I break them down, we're both happier in the field. Good dog.
If you're looking for more information on dog training or finding more public access places to hunt, hey, check out my website, findbirdhuntingspots.com. I'll see you there. Better bird hunting? Well, range time is always good. That's what I'm doing with this new pointer shotgun. But there's a bag full of other things that could help you bag more birds this season. Here's an example. Once your dog stands the bird, remember, he's tempted to crash in. So approach with alacrity. The longer you dawdle or frame up your Instagram shot, the likelihood is that bird's gonna fly wild or run off. Or worst of all, your dog's gonna do the flushing for you before you're ready to shoot. Flanking your dog as you approach the pointed bird minimizes his chances of breaking point. Swing wide and approach from an obtuse angle to the dog and the bird, and it steadies both of them.
With a little knowledge and experience, you can make an educated guess as to what direction that rooster will fly and set your feet for the shot. As you flush your quarry, anchor your off foot pointing about the direction you hope the bird will fly. Your other foot should be squared off for balance with both feet about shoulder width apart. That stance provides the maximum arc when you swivel your hips. Quite helpful on lightning fast bobwhites or going away pheasants.
For more detailed information and additional shooting tips, go to legacysports.com/pointer. Thanks for watching. Who doesn't want to shoot better? You train yourself, your dog, and your buddy. And the bird flies and you whiff again. You're mad. You're stuck buying a beer that night, but most importantly, your dog has nothing to fetch. Well, here's a few tips that might help you put another bird in the bag and give your dog another retrieve. This one's my nemesis. Maybe yours too. I lift my head off the stock to look at the bird that I just shot, when I actually probably just missed it. Because of that, here's a trick. Take a $20 bill, put it between cheek and stock,
and shoot a few targets. If it falls, it's your hunting buddies. Repeat as needed, or until you're broke. Or try this: gun unloaded, mount your gun, then put the crease of the trigger finger on the trigger. Bring the rest of your hand as far back and down the grip as comfortable, then wrap the thumb over the wrist of the stock. No death grip though. Your other hand does the heavy lifting. Finally, try this. Make sure your gun's unloaded and you're pointed in a safe direction. Then, shoulder your gun. Swing all the way up. Take your left hand away. Bring it back to where the elbow is extended comfortably. That's where it should stay. That gives you maximum swing in either direction, up, down, left, or right. Now at least you've got a slightly better chance of hitting something on your next bird hunt. Someone else buys the beer, and your dog finally has something to retrieve. Now, teach him to fetch that tall, cold one at the end of the day. If you'd like more shooting tips, go to highvissights.com. Where is he?
Good shooting. Good girl, Dot. Dirty bugger.
They were on that bird
Good
the
girl.
whole time.
Dad, good girl.
Welcome to my first webinar. I hope you enjoy it and I hope you learn something from it. Now, I've traveled to 26 states to make television shows and to hunt for fun, mostly wild birds on public ground. I've learned these lessons the hard way so you don't have to. My goal is to give you knowledge. Knowledge leads to power, and that's how you have the greatest public access bird hunt of your life. So stick with me. Now, some of you probably know a lot of what I'm going to cover, but like most seminars and even most high school classes, if you pick out one thing, two things that help you make your trip a little bit more productive, a little bit safer, and a little bit more fun, it'll be worth the price of admission. Let's start with the basics. This land, in large part, is your land. That's right. In most cases, we paid for that stuff. Walk-in programs may go by different names in each state, but they open public access to privately owned ground. Now, sometimes the state buys that access through a fund that you and I contribute to in addition to our license and tag fees. Other times, it's some other taxpayer or hunter-supported program. Now, in exchange for that, the landowner gets coverage from liability, and sometimes the state will even patrol it to keep trespassers off, for example. Now, much of the time, landowners need to kind of keep care of their land at least a little bit before the biologist shows up to decide whether or not that land should be admitted into the public access program. So that gives you at least a modicum of confidence. Now then there's public land. You know it. Bureau of Land Management, U.S. Forest Service, Corps of Engineers, state parks and wildlife divisions, they all own land that is open to most uses most of the time. From wildlife refuges to management areas to national forests and military installations, we've got an open invitation on most of them. Don't neglect the Army Corps of Engineers, the Bureau of Reclamation, and the TVA, among others, who control thousands of acres near dams, waterways, rivers, and while a refuge may have waterfowl conservation in its name, a lot of those places have dry ground with some incredible upland bird hunting. Just don't forget your non-toxic ammo.